For my community engagement project, I went to see Sarah Kinsley's concert last night. And honestly, I would have gone either way because I just really love her as an artist. But I think that the experience was really profound and I just would love to share about it. So, my video will kind of go through a few parts. First, where the concert actually took place. Second, how I felt listening to her music before. Third, how I felt during the concert. And fourth, how I'll use this information going forward. So, first, where did the concert actually take place? She performed at the Loft in Atlanta. And she actually performed there 2 years ago, which was really funny to me because I saw her 2 years ago at this venue and it's a very small venue. It's teeny tiny. It doesn't have a balcony. It doesn't have stairs. It doesn't have seating at all. It's like kind of a big room where it's like maybe the size of two tennis courts put together. Maybe that's being generous. And a stage. So it's really personal and up close, which was interesting to me again because I felt like her audience got a lot larger. But I was really grateful for that because I feel like it's rare to be able to see artists that you really like and connect with in such a manner. I feel like a lot of the time they're doing arena or stadium tours and they're really expensive and they feel really impersonal because it's all about putting on the most extravagant show rather than a personal and meaningful experience for a few people. So, my experience with finding her as an artist and listening to her before the concert was I found her through her EP called Ascension, which I don't know if you've ever listened to her, but I 1,000% recommend. It literally feels like if you close your eyes and you're listening to her, it literally feels like your feet are going to lift off the ground. I mean, that title is so perfect for how her music feels. Her vocals are just so otherworldly, and I don't. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't know how she possibly did this. But her vocals sound better in person than they do even on like the studio recordings, which is really saying something because she sounds wonderful on all of her studio recordings. But her lyricism is also very profound, and I feel that it really. Sorry, my cat is like messing with the prop, like the thing I'm propping my phone up with. But anyways, so if it's wiggling, that's why. But her lyricism is very profound, and I feel that it really expresses emotion in such a raw way, and in such a way that is so musical. It really, a lot of her lyrics alone won't capture what the song feels like. She sings with such a purpose, with such a rhythm. There's so much imagery, and like if you watch her music videos, they're very much she's being artistic with how she represents her thoughts and feelings, which I really appreciate. It definitely is something you would watch once or twice to understand. But overall, her music has just been a backtrack to my life. It's connected to so many personal experiences. For example, this song called Black Horse, I have it pulled up here. She has one lyric, one verse, I don't know. Sanity, baby, have you been looking for me? You came in like an apparition, like a vision, like a dream. Had me thinking I could do this. I could be the fighting one, a black horse on the run. And then later on, it says, on the eclipse of my mind, feeling I might lose myself this time. Are we still too young? And I don't know what was going on in her life when she wrote that song, but it really connected with me right now because as a college student, it really does feel like I'm not sure if I'm losing myself. You know, there's so much. Do this assignment and write this 20-page lesson plan and do all of these things before midnight that it just feels like my life is amounting to turning in 5 assignments before the due date and going to my field placement X amount of times and getting everything done before the semester ends, that it's really hard to find excitement. I mean, even for this concert, I remember I went with my partner. I mean, of course I remember it was yesterday, but I went with my partner, and all of yesterday my partner was so excited, and I was just kind of sitting there like, I'm excited, but I don't feel excited, and it was really confusing for me, and I was kind of getting sad because I was like, I remember as a kid I would get so excited for things I couldn't even sleep. It was like field trips, I would literally be like beaming with excitement. I just couldn't sleep. And for this, it's like, of course I'm excited, like she's my favorite artist, but I don't feel excited. And it just made me feel like, am I losing myself? Like, what's happening? Um, and I think the are we still too young part is really interesting to me, because it does kind of feel like, am I too young to be losing myself? Like, it's just, it's interesting. Like, did I ever find myself? I don't know. But when I was at her concert, it all felt like it was answered. At her concert, it felt like, of course I'm not losing myself. Like, I just found myself. Like, I'm in a room full of people where everyone is connecting, and that's what I love. That's what I live for. I live for everyone dancing and everyone thinking about the same thing and having this shared experience, and someone opening up to 200 different people all at once and singing from their soul. It just feels like such a religious experience. And I'm not religious, and I probably won't ever be, but I really have come around to the idea of going to church every week and sitting in a room and listening to a choir sing to you, and all reading from the same book and listening to the same preacher preaching about the same passage. Um, I feel like that's what concerts are to me. They're very spiritual to me because I'm listening to someone bare their soul to an audience. And that's just, it makes you think about where you are and how somehow in some way you are all connected. And even if you've all had different experiences, you're all connecting right now. So a perfect example of this is her song Sublime. I remember the first time I listened to her song Sublime, one of the lyrics is like, um, there's light ahead, there has to be. And I remember thinking that lyric sounded so hopeful. And then there was another one that was like, why not live to spite this, to spite the pain? Um, and I know those lyrics sound kind of sad, but I just thought they were so hopeful, and it just really stuck with me. I don't know why. I was in my room and I was listening to it, and I just remember thinking like, wow, I really love this song. And then this Christmas, my ferret, his name was Butter, he got diagnosed with cancer, and the next few months, me and my partner were kind of, helping him, and he declined, and then we took him to the vet because we were going to put him down. And on the car ride there, I remembered just randomly how that song made me feel, and how it really felt like a shred of hope to me, and I wanted him to have that same send off. And so I played the song, and I have the lyrics here again. I just remember how I wasn't even thinking about the lyrics like that. I was just remembering how they made me feel last time. But the lyrics felt so specific to the moment that it was actually insane to me. Um, the lyrics are, don't you get it? Everything must eventually change. Even suffering forever cannot stop the days. I'll never be the same. I'll never be. Um, and I know those might sound general, but to me in the moment, it was incredibly specific. I was like, there's no way this is about anything else. I mean, they kept going on, and it just felt like this song must be about a bittersweet end, a desperate end, months of, someone being sick, of a family member or a pet in my case being sick, and then a bittersweet end of, this is relief for them, but and it's heartbreak for you, but something must eventually change, and they can't suffer forever. It won't stop what's inevitable, and it won't be the same, but again, like I mentioned in that song, she has some hopeful words of like, there's light ahead and everything else. And it's just, this is how it is, but it's going to get better. And in my head, I was like, I know this song is not about me, but it feels like there's nothing else it could be about. um, it just, I'm pretty sure she wrote it about a breakup, but to me, it was very much about a ferret named Butter who had cancer, and about my journey getting through that, and about a shred of peace I could give him and myself as he passed away. And so at the concert, I remember being really like happy when the song came on and hopeful and dancing, remembering that first time I heard it in my room and how it made me feel. And then I turned around and my partner was like sobbing, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remembered that that was the song I played when, like, right before he passed away. Um, and I just kind of stood there thinking, everyone must be thinking about so many different experiences right now. There's no way anyone else has the same experience, but we're all coming together and agreeing on these words and feeling these words in our bones to the point where we're dancing or we're crying or we're doing the same things. And we, again, have all paid money to be here. It just felt like one common thread. It wasn't the experiences that got us there, but it was, we're all experiencing this same profound emotion. Um, so I think in the future, this kind of goes into my personal growth of, again, we might not all have the same experiences. No one else has my same experience for sure. It's kind of a unique one, I would say. But I'm sure someone else has felt a bittersweet end or a tragic loss, or I'm sure people have felt the exact same way I'm feeling every second of my life. Um, Everyone has felt anger, everyone else has felt sadness or despair or excitement or anything. And that's something beautiful about life. That we've all felt the same emotions and we all can connect on some level. So I think in the future, I'm going to take this as, in the classroom as a teacher, I might not be able to serenade my students when they're upset or when they've gone through a loss and they're grieving, or when they're having a really great day. I mean, I can try and serenade, but I don't know if that would go over too well. But I can certainly be there and say, hey, I've not gone through the same thing, but I've felt this feeling. I've felt this feeling and I know how it feels, and offer that support and open up to them, because that's what matters, the human connection. And that's where I find myself again and again and again. That's what always brings me back to myself, is that human connection. So into my life as a student, oh boy, it's taught me things are not as serious as they need to be. Because I take my studies very seriously, and I take turning in assignments as life or death. Even though everything might be, I'm very much of a forgetful person, so some things might be late or some things might be last minute, but I still view it as very much life or death. And it's kind of taught me this is not what my priority should be. My priority should be learning and taking the most out of the experience I can get, yes, but also it should be remembering that what's important to me is the bonds with people. And in terms of the academic context, all of classroom management is having that bond with students. They, you want to have some of that reverent, I don't know what you would call it, not control, but influence over the classroom. You want the kids to like you and connect with you and feel that they know you and that they can come to you and that you are a safe space for them. So that's how I feel it connects with the academic context. You really want to open up to the students and gain their respect that way. And also I think there's something to be said about conformity. I don't think that I would be the same person if I didn't listen to the music I listened to. And I think people who make music, artists, are definitely non-conforming. I think they're sharing their unique experiences despite what other people may think. It's very much for themselves, and it's only enjoyable when it's authentic and when they're being authentically themselves. And that's something that I learned from our book that we've been reading is conformity is so heavily pushed in our schools, um, obliging to adults and kind of following their rules and their way of the law is not good for students. It's not good to just blindly follow what other people say and not take a beat and think about how you feel and what this means for you. So that's how I feel it'll impact me as a student, teacher, how it connects to everything. As a citizen, as a parent, well, as a parent, it's very much the same. I'm going to be open and lend that part of myself to my future kids. And as a citizen, you bet your bottom dollar that I will be supporting and bonding with anyone I have the chance. It's not about bearing your soul to someone, but it's about you're at Wendy's and you're grabbing a burger, say hello, say how are you, take a genuine interest. Don't just, Southern charm your way through things where we say things and we don't really expect a response. Like genuinely try and compliment someone or ask them honestly how they are. um and yeah, that's I know that's a lot to get from a concert, but that is definitely what I got, and I'm glad I went.